Welcome to the home of Stellenbosch Rugby, the home of the FNB Marties at the Donny Craven Stadium as they take on the Orange Army from Johannesburg. The University of Johannesburg, just 1 point separates these two teams on the table. Everything to play for here. And last year's meeting was the FNB Marties coming out on top, 49 points to 14. In the commentary booth, I have the legend Andries Strauss. Andries, same place, same time, 1 week later. Beautiful evening.
It is a beautiful evening, Nick, and it's a fantastic place to come and play rugby. It's an even better place to come and watch rugby. Donny Craven Stadium, it's an iconic stadium, South African rugby, and we've got a phenomenal match on our hands tonight.
Just talking about last week, it was a real bounce back from the FNB Marties up against Wits. As we look at the FNB Marties lineup here, so strong was that front row. Matongo Swat and Mangani were brilliant last week, really showing their worth. Bjerkes and Gray were excellent in the lineouts, and of course Miller was superb in that second half. We have a replacement here in Smith coming on for Varsity from last week, and the captain Bankie van der Bank. Great game. And let's look at Lashe, who is the Selbornian, coming off the bench from last week and starting this week. And Fleurs, brilliant last week, was he not?
He was phenomenal last week, Nick, and this team is a well-balanced team at the moment. They had a bit of a hiccup against the Shinma side, who have just lifted their game this season. And what makes this team strong is off the bench they bring on a couple of crackers. James Gormbrink, Chris Rousseau, Reinsberger coming off the bench, strengthens the scrum in the second half, and they're a real force to be reckoned with.
They are a real force to be reckoned with, especially up front. And we were talking to the coaches beforehand. The UJ really need to stand up. So it is Kivet, Usagwa, and Besaidenote. Besaidenote is their tight head, and they're going to be looking to him to make sure they get a nice right shoulder for the team. They did struggle a little bit last week in the first half against the Eagles, but a brilliant comeback from them. Of course, the captain to Blanche, who was at the Northwest University Eagles the year before, doing his honors now at UJ. And the Jabe and Falun, the Monas boy with a massive boot. Both these two fives here today will definitely be showing what they can do with the boot and making sure they play in the right areas of the field. Cheddar, number 12, is usually a number 11, but they're coming in at 12 and one man of the match last week. They did brilliant work in the second half. Jonathan McQuena was really outstanding performance from the guys in second half in what can only be said was a hurricane and wet weather like no other. Andries, going to be a really tough battle for UJ up front today.
It will be a tough battle for them up front, and they were under a lot of pressure in the first half in that game last weekend. They did well to come back against the pick and show what they were made of, and in the end won that match quite convincingly. Today, it's a new contest, it's a new competition, or it's a new team they're playing against. They've got their hands full today. Marty's team full of confidence. It will be a stunner of a game today.
A stunner of a game and a stunner of an evening as we get the festivities underway with the FNB player that rocks, of course, is the guy with the pink shorts, and both of them today are in this team with 2 wins from both of these teams. Remember, just 1 point in it. Chedi, number 12, wearing the pink shorts today, and of course our number 1, Matonga, who it's not often you get a front rower playing who's the player that rocks.
Not in the modern day, you don't see a front row get the pink shorts. Of course, they only play for 15 minutes if they're lucky, and then get substituted in what has become known the bomb squad, as Rassi introduced to the world in the 2019 World Cup. Good to see Vernon Matonga get the pink shorts tonight, and he's a phenomenal player.
And of course, they get the pink shorts and 1,000 Rand and the Fitbit Charge 4 from FNB Connect, guys. That's right. It's as easy as banking, just using your SIM card through FNB Connect. So get out there and get into it as we see the Marties faithful coming out here in their droves. Hopefully Sunday we can get a few more people next week if we have our little family meeting with Uncle Cyril.
Now that would be phenomenal, but the students just love coming and watching rugby, and again, there isn't a better place in South Africa to come watch university rugby than the Donny Craven. It's great to see them out enjoying themselves and enjoying varsity life for the first time in 3 years.
It has been a long time, and as we see the UJ, the Orange Army, walking out here, all to play for them. Their captain coming out, Johannes de Blanche, doing his postgrad in honours. A clever man, going to be leading his team out. Not the biggest man on the field, but so gutsy. As we see Indy Tiare there with the pink shorts. Other guys to watch, of course, is Malchas. He was brilliant against the Eagles last week. Really quick. And Sean Christian Baxter at the back. We'll be looking for a lot from him.
Jonathan Viljoen has been an absolute household name for this UJ team. He's played for a couple of seasons. He's proved his worth year in and year out. So you look at the Marties come out in front of their faithful. He'll have his hands full today. He'll have to manage the game, play in the right parts of the field. There is a slight breeze blowing tonight, and that just makes his kicking game so much more important.
Of course, we do play the 50-20 rule. If you kick the ball out in the opposition 22, you get a free kick. As we see the FNB Marties take to the field, to the cheer of their crowd. Solan Waka with his massive legs coming past us again. Never want him to be running at you, do you?
No, you don't. He's a big beef of a man, is Waka Solan. Carries the ball strongly, playing at a 13 centre this season outside the son of former Springbok Brendan Fenter with the same name. They've been a very good combination this Varsity Cup, especially in the game last weekend where they played phenomenal rugby against Vist.
As it is customary, we always do the national anthem with the credo afterwards.
The Varsity Cup is an original South African product. Its management and participants are proud to be South African, loyal to the national flag, encouraged by a beautiful anthem, and committed to the bright future of this wonderful country. Let us now stand and join together in singing the South African national anthem.
Let us live and strive for freedom in South Africa, our land. Resounding here at the Donny Craven Stadium. We're in for quite a matchup. Marty's definitely looking to be the favourites, Andries.
After last weekend's performance, definitely so. They came back very strong after disappointing loss against Shemlis the week before, and they played with incredible intensity and pace in that game. If they can bring the same sort of intensity in this weekend's game with today's game, we're sure to see a good Marty's team out here.
As we see Vernon Matongo in his pink shorts, what a wonderful game he had last week. Him and his front row buddies set the platform for a magnanimous win from the FNB Marties last week. And I think they'd probably want the same from their front row, and they tied 5 again. Not great in the line-out defense, but really good in the scrums. As Fleers decides to go deep. Good take. Number 13, Chabalala. A man from Boksburg, Voortrekker High. And a good clearance from Jonathan Viljoen. An educated boot. A good start for UJ, just making sure they get out of the danger zone.
And he's probably done that 1,000 times in his university career. Jonathan Viljoen, he's got a massive right boot on him. He's a big bulky fly half. Defensively, he stands up, and that is what his team will need of him today. Phenomenal clearance. Very, very clinical by this UJ team.
Swat excellent in the lineouts last week against Wits, and again decides to go to Miller. Brendan Venter gives it up, but held up well here from UJ. Excellent work from the captain as he comes away with it, and it's a turnover. Big boost for UJ.
A very big boost for UJ. Defensively, a good hit made on David Marais. Got the ball slightly high and couldn't get himself underneath that tackle, but a fantastic start this by UJ, and this is what you want from a coach if you're receiving the kickoff in the first part of the game. Have a good clinical clearance, put the opposition under pressure defensively, get your hands on the ball, and then go and play rugby in the right parts of the field.
But this is where the game is won and lost, right up front.
And UJ would have looked at the video from last week's matches and saw this phenomenal Marty scrum. They would have prepared for this game. And the front row of UJ, especially France Bassane, that you mentioned earlier, will have their hands full.
Bind.
That's a big scrum again from Marty's. But the referee decides, no, that's scrumming up.
Walking this side.
Walking to the side, the referee called. And a big victory there for UJ. FNB UJ, first scrum penalty.
And that's massive for UJ. You know, 3 plays in this game, and every single one going the way of UJ. And that would be concerning for the Marty's team. Their scrum has been the dominant factor in their game. It's a real weapon that they use, and they'll want to be able to rely on that going further in this game.
They certainly will. Marius Herter, talking to him before the game, he said, you know, they just feel like nothing fires all at once. You know, their defensive line-out mauling wasn't great against Wits last week, but their scrum was great. And other parts of their game weren't great against the Shimlas.
Yeah, they've got a big pack of forwards, young players, but all of them very, very well coached and have a lot of talent in this team, does Marty's.
Asuagwa finds his line-out jumper, and it's a good set piece here from UJ as the advantage is being played. UJ continues, will come back for the penalty, coming in from the side.
And this is a part of the game, if you're the opposition coach playing against Marty's, this is the part of the game where you tell your team, listen, we can capitalize on this. Marty's has not been great this season with stopping driving mauls. We saw Wits capitalize off that in last week's game, and they would have targeted this area of the game to get themselves on the front foot.
Yeah, I think definitely Jonathan Mokoena has been licking his lips at this line-out drives for FNB UJ. Asuagwa was brilliant at finding his line-out jumper and does so again, this time to the back. It's a good set, and a ball going greatly forward, and a try for FNB UJ. Just like last week, their Johannesburg brothers Wits scored in the same spot, and it just seems like FNB Marty's have nothing to go for. Brilliant
Yeah, fantastic set here, but ball on the back of the line. It's extremely tough to stop that driving maul. David Murray unsuccessful sacking that maul, and the lock forward. Brendan Pawson carrying over for the first score of this match.
Okay, so ek het 'n penalty vir jou gegee. Daar was een skram gewees vir hulle wat almal hierdie kant toe loop. Okay.
It's a dream start for UJ. They received the kick-off, good exit, got the penalty off that scrum turnover into the corner, driving maul, 5 points up, and that is how you want to start a rugby match.
No mistakes for FNB UJ. Just 5 minutes into this game. Jonathan Viljoen with the attempt. And it was close, but he sneaks it over. And FNB UJ go 7 points up against FNB Marties just 5 minutes in. What a start.
It's a contrary start to what we had last week.
Yeah.
Marties got the hands on the ball, scored a phenomenal try, and had the momentum on their end. Interesting to see how they handle this setback and how they get them into this game.
Valdefe is going very deep again, but Shabalala, just as in the previous kickoff, the start of the game. But it's Swart who stands up for his team just when FNB Marties needed somebody to put up their hands. Sean Swart says, I'll be that guy.
It's pretty early on in this game. We're 5 minutes into it. They're trailing by 7, and that's a big moment. That's a moment that gives Marties, a bit of relief. They can calm down a bit, opting to go a goal here, get yourself on the scoreboard, and then start building the momentum. Navaldo Fleers, I watched him kick before the game, and he's striking exceptionally well at the moment.
He does have a sweet boot on him. Kicked extremely well last week too. Very close to the player that rocked. Navaldo Fleurs makes no mistake with that. I think he could do that with his eyes closed. One arm behind his back, one leg.
Yeah, he's a talented young player, Navaldo Fleurs. He picked up a bit of size in the last year or two, and he's just growing to become a very, very promising young rugby player.
Picked up a bit of a niggle last week, but I see he seems to be hundreds once again. Viljoen gets us underway once again. The ball goes over, beautifully picked up by Malchus. Viljoen decides he's going to give it out wide to Malchus this time on the opposite wing. UJ just taking it up. They were really good in the wet last week in phase plays. Viljoen, little pop around the back. Masuku, brilliant in the lineouts. Taking Fene. The wings were brilliant last week. But an excellent steal again. I think it's Swat once again. No, Murray does brilliantly well for FNB Marties. Miller decides to tighten it up a bit. Smith, with untidy ball. Brilliant work from the UJ. And the chip over the top coming from Jabir. Unfortunately, just the touchline that wins. Good enterprising play.
Phenomenal stuff. It's a good phase of play for both these teams. Concerning for Marties the fact that they couldn't regather that kick-off. It was a problem for them last week. Once you score points, we say it a million times, you want to get hold of the ball, play in the right parts of the field, and they failed to do that once again. This man, Sian Swartz, has been phenomenal since he started playing for Marties. He's just made an impact every time he's on the field.
Again, they go to the big one. The big man, Miller. They go to line-out jumper. And they keep telling them, kom ons gaan, kom ons gaan. But UJ decide, you've done enough now. And it's really well done by Jabir.
Play on, it was touched.
And it was touched. And it's a big kick through. And it's Calvin Kanengo with a very opportunistic try. Great work from Jabir.
This UJ team's come out to play. They've really come out to play. They did really well to stop that driving maul, put Smith under a lot of pressure with that box kick, followed up exceptionally well and got rewarded with a 5-pointer.
Brilliant work as we see again. Tap back. And who's on it? Karengu's going straight through with a chip through. This man, a PE, Gqeberha legend, who also was in the Zim under-20 team.
Number 8.
Brilliant work from the number 8, who usually plays at 6.
Yeah, phenomenal score, completely against what we thought would happen in this match between UJ and Marties. The intensity of this UJ team is just phenomenal at the moment.
They've come to play, haven't they? And I think the sea air is really giving him some boost.
It's just good to see how competitive this Varsity Cup competition has been. Every single team has the ability to beat the opposition they play against every weekend. And you can't be off your game because you will get found wanting.
Balloon once again. But unfortunately just scraping the upright.
That looked over to me. We're sitting right behind the kick, and I must be honest, I thought that was over. Unlucky, I'd say, Jonathan Fullion.
That was a great strike from Jonathan Fullion. UJ always coming back in the second half, but they've decided no, they want to start off well and finish well. Aslias decides he's going deep once again. Masuku takes it up. Just want to get out of here once again. Jabir to Fullion. Not his best attempt, but good pressure coming from Smith.
And Marties will see that as a win. Kicked off, and they've got a line out, attacking line out just outside the 22-meter line of UJ, and really a time here for Marties to find their straps. They get the momentum going, get the feel of how the play is going to go, get over that advantage line, put UJ defensively under pressure, and try to get something away from this.
They go to the big man, Miller once again. Brendan Fenter was brilliant in his debut last week. Oh, Miller gets crunching tackles from the UJ defense. Smith playing same side rugby, working well. Van der Bank going out wide again. This is where Marties were brilliant last week, end to end, coast to coast. Miller to his front row, who were outstanding last week. Oh, and unfortunately, just a slight little look up before he picked up the ball. And Edwin Smith, I think, would be a bit disappointed, but they are in the right place of the field.
Right place of the field, and I just wanted to say that once they have the ball, they're extremely stingy. They keep hold of it, and they play rugby, and they put it through the phases. Defensively, Wits were outstanding last week. They didn't allow Marties to get over the gain line, but they made meters here, and unfortunately, at the end, Smith just fumbles that. You can see the disappointment because I thought they had numbers on the left-hand side. Second scrum of the match, we saw UJ get the penalty. I thought that Marties probably had the upper hand in that scrum, and this will give us an indication of how tonight's going to go.
They felt each other out. This is the business end of this game. We'll just have a reset. I think just slipping a little bit.
And you've almost come to expect that in the first couple of scrums in a game, when the front rows are filling each other out, they're getting a sense of what's to come. You always see these collapse scrums and resets, and hopefully as the game goes on, we'll see less and less of that, and we'll see a flowing game of rugby.
Bit more up, guys.
Definitely the most interesting part to this game, and there's always a bit of suspense when there's a scrum time. Keegan Jabir would like to get this out. He's coming back home. He's a Cape Town boy from the Cape, and another penalty goes the way of UJ. And look what that means to them. They've definitely been trying, and they know it was going to be a big challenge for them this week.
Yeah, it's another big moment in the game. Marty's would have targeted the scrum as an area in the game where they could get the upper hand. 2 penalties from 2 scrums going UJ's way, and they take a lot of confidence from that.
Massive confidence. Get out of jail free card there.
It definitely was a get out of jail free card. The nice thing about a scrum is when a penalty gets awarded to either side, I can't comment because I've got no idea what's happening there. I just trust what the ref is saying and keep going.
Just keep going. One for you, one for me. As Paulson does brilliantly well again. Jabir with a big kick, but unfortunately just overcooks it a little bit. Lots of pressure on these scrum offs here today. Lots of pressure. And it is going to be a kicking game. Playing in the right side, right ends of the field.
Yeah, there is a slight breeze out here tonight, and I do think that we'll see these teams hold on to the ball when they're in the right areas of the field, and Marty's like to do that. They like to have a go before they kick. It's always great to see players back their skills before they just kick the ball into space.
As Murray takes it at the back. Swart's been so good. Look at him again. It takes 2 men to bring him down. Bierkus. Oh, he was a powerhouse last week too. For the bank, they go wide so nicely. Fleers. Straight to Miller. This is where the Marties shine, when they go out wide a little bit more. Fenter decides to take it in on himself. But the UJ guys are there. And brilliant work again from the small scrum off, Keegan Jabir. He's made a massive difference in this game in the first 15 minutes.
And you can see this UJ team is absolutely pumped. Everything Marties is throwing at them at the moment, they're handling it quite nicely. And the more penalties you give this UJ team, the more this man, Jonathan Viljoen, will kick you into your own half and put you under pressure. Promising stuff by Marties though. Getting over the gain line when they keep hold of the ball. Mostly playing the right options, and you get the feeling if they can just build from that and hold on to the ball for a couple more phases, they'll put the UJ team under pressure.
And not be so isolated. I think that's what's really getting to them. You know, UJ are really on the ball so quickly at the moment. You need to almost go with somebody. Oh, great steal there from Miller.
Leave it now.
He's so good in the line out, is Miller. Swart once again. Oh, just luckily went backwards. Mangani.
No.
Just cleans it up for Marties. Van der Bank, they decide to go wide out again. Murray. Just dragged a little bit. And they'll restart it again. Van der Bank to Miller. Beats 2 defenders. Deciding again to go back to Fleurs. Wakar Salon, so strong. Van der Bank to Bierkus. Looks like Marties have some numbers on the outside. They decide to go wide. And it's Matanda. And this time, FNB Marties players are there for the cleanup. Big hits coming in. Calvin, Kunengu. Massive on defense. Van der Bank. Again, they decide to go brilliantly wide. And it's Murray with a break. Holds on to it brilliantly. And supported. Bierkus. Matt Gray. Van der Bank. Marties on the ascendancy here. Van der Bank decides to go out. Fenter to Swart. Sian Swart. The player to watch for the future. Matango. He breaks through 1 or 2 defenders just as he did last week. Van der Bank, space out wide. Fleurs. Kamlashe. He gets in. What finishing from the man from East London. Kamlashe. Sibabalwe. Kamlashe.
Scintillating stuff from this Marties team. They hold on to that ball from their own 10-meter line, build the phases, saw the space, moved the ball there. kept hold of it like we said they should, and got rewarded with a 5-point in the corner. And what a finish by this young man.
He was brought in off the bench from last week, as we see it go wide for the final time.
And just before this, industrious work has been done by Simon Miller carrying ball. That is phenomenal footwork, and a better finish will be hard to find. We saw a great run by David Murray up the right-hand touchline to get them that initial go forward and get them past the defensive line of this UJ. Went into scramble defense. At one stage looked that they got some sort of control over the defensive line, and then fantastic feed by Zamilaj to get over for the 5-pointer.
I think a very close one there as we have our first strategy break. Something that is known for here at the F&B Varsity Cup.
I think the strategy break comes at a great time for Marties. They've been under the pump for the first 15, 16 minutes of this game. They've just managed to come back, score a fantastic try. And what a time just to get the groups together and say, boys, this is how we want to play rugby. They have to put the opposition defence under pressure. If we hold on to the ball long enough, eventually someone will make a mistake defensively. We'll breach a defensive line and we'll get opportunities from that. Brendan Fenter having a chat to his teammates like his old man, understands rugby and knows what needs to happen. This UJ team, on the flip side of it, Nick, they've been phenomenal. They've put Marties under pressure. They've played with a lot of intensity. Defensively, they've been in the faces of Marties' team. And they got rewarded for that with two tries early on in this game. And they need to just keep on doing that. Get their hands on the ball. That man, Jonathan Viljoen, kick our team into the right place of the field and then start playing rugby.
And they've been unbelievable on the ground. I mean, when it comes to ruck time, if an FNB Marties player isn't close to the ball carrier, it's gone.
No, they're good like that. And that's what you have to do against Marties. You have to disrupt their fluency, because once they start getting that fluent rugby going, they're very tough to stop. And have to mention that when you kick against Marties, you have to kick well, you have to chase well, because if you aren't organised defensively, they've got the ability to cut you to pieces. We saw that in this try from their own 10-metre line, hold on to the ball, and then manage to get over for a 5-point.
I have the women's captain team, Laura Scott here with me. Laura, welcome to tonight. Couple of questions for you tonight. You always wanted to be in rugby.
Yes, I did.
From what age did you realize that you wanted to go into the sport?
I kind of had no choice. I have two older brothers and a dad who are just absolutely avid in rugby, so I was just born and raised in the vibe. Always on the TV, absolutely everywhere, so it was always on.
What's your motivation to other ladies that wants to play the sport? Because, you know, it is a guy sport, it's a very rough sport.
Yeah, I think just like the people you meet and like the team vibe you get is just like unlike anything. I've met friends for life from the sport and learned so much. Like the saying of a better person makes a better rugby player, I think is so true, and that's basically all I can say about rugby.
Word of encouragement to other rugby ladies that wants to take part in the sport?
Just keep going, keep giving it a big shot. It honestly is the best sport on the planet, so yeah, just give it a go.
As we see Lauren Schatz there, the captain of the FNB Marties ladies team. And ladies rugby, especially in the sevens, is so entertaining, Andries.
It is, and it's a game that's really grown over the last couple of years. The women's game in rugby has just grown from strength to strength, and I find myself watching it over weekends, and there's some phenomenal talent in the
Paul
women's
Delport
rugby.
still involved with the ladies sevens?
I presume so, yes.
As Miller gets it deep into the Marties 22. Good tackle coming from Tingenfene. Marties just consolidating, want to get out of their own half, and they'll get a penalty. Not rolling away, says the referee, and that's what Marties definitely wanted first up.
Yeah, definitely. They wanted to get their hands on the ball, and we could see they're very willing to keep hold of it. And to get a penalty on this part of the field, just release a bit of pressure, kick it into touch, stall your ball, and they can build some phases from this.
Of course, you see we've got pink ball in play, guys. Pink ball in play. And of course, when the power play happens, the home team scores, gets 1,000 Rand to the Itemba Foundation. They're an organization that's tasked with raising awareness about mental health issues, lots of mental health issues over the pandemic. Great work from the Itemba Foundation and great maul from the Marties as Cian Swart breaks away once again Van der Bank, lots of space out wide. Fleur steps inside. So hard to tackle, really big man. Van der Bank, Venter.
Tackle!
Goes the direct route. Beerkus, Van der Bank with a great little wraparound. Matt Gray, tallest man in the field today. Edwan Smith. Looked very flat. Matanda. Sien Swart. They do a few of the dummy runs. On last year, the try scorer. And he's got some feet on him as he beats 2 or 3 defenders. Gives it to Mangani. Running like a winger is Mangani. But another great steal from UJ. They are so good when it comes to making that crucial turnover. Apia Adu, the man who used to play 8. Now in the second row, cleans it up. Falun with a big kick down to Fleurs. He's dangerous. And he's looking for the 50-22, but Falun is there. And decides to just neaten it up. But a good passage of play from both teams.
A good passage of plays from both teams. Unfortunate for Marty, he's turning that ball over in the 22-meter line of UJ. As you see, Brendan Venter, ball over the top. And this man with Spage Amlas, he is phenomenal. Beats his defender. A fortunate little knock onto this big man's hands, and he knows only one way, and that's going forward.
Marty's looking really good out wide. Norman Udon definitely works harder than Miller again. A tower of strength. Kanda.
Got it, left it,
But
got it.
amazing work once again from Calvin Kaningu. It's so good having 2 number 6s on the field. But held up right now. And taken in by FNB UJ. Marty's will feel relieved, I think.
They definitely will, but that was a fantastic steal. It was on that ball in almost no time. And Marty's will just have to make sure they keep on looking after their ball. They're so good with ball in hand. If they play the expansive brand of rugby, they're really enjoyable to watch. But you can't play rugby without the pull, and they have to make sure that they take care of the break time before they start playing expansive rugby. Look at Simon Miller. He has been industrious for this Marty's team. Always puts his hand up to carry, not scared of the contact situation. He'll give you 80 minutes of everything he has every single game.
He has been an absolute giant in the line out here today for the Martys. And another scrum time. This time it's FNB Martys with the ball, but it's a tight hit. But unfortunately, there's a penalty goes the way I thought to myself, what happened there? But scrumming in. We don't know. We don't know what happened.
Great call. It's a great call. Either way, I thought Martys were fortunate there. Something went wrong in the base of that scrum, got kicked over to UJ, and fortunately for them, they got the penalty in that instance. The Moller Fleers just settling things down and opting for the 3 points.
That's exactly what you want to do. You want to build that score, build that innings, put some pressure, scoreboard pressure on the FNB UJ.
And they've played a lot of rugby lately. They've played a lot of rugby and you need to get some sort of reward for it.
And rewards they get. Rivaldo Fleurs definitely had his kicking boots put into his tog bag today.
I mentioned earlier, I saw him kick before the game and he was slotting it from everywhere. And that's a great weapon to have in your team. Those 3 points, they just stack up, and before you know it, you feel like you've done nothing, but you've gained 9, 12 points in a game. And that puts a lot of pressure on the opposition.
Villian goes high and deep. Brilliant work from the UJ winger, Tengen Fernie. And of course, it was also Chabalala 13 who put all the pressure. I mean, what is going on to this UJ team? They are so hungry.
That is amazing stuff. And if I'm not mistaken, that's a 7-point score for UJ. And if I understand the rules correctly, I could be wrong. Fantastic stuff by the UJ team. Great kickoff firstly, great chase, and then a fantastic finish. Concerning stuff for Marties. They've not managed to look after the ball when it comes to their kick receipts, and it's something you have to sort out if you want to stay on top of your game.
As we look at it again, Andries, just the hunger coming here from Chabalala. Really jumping over, and the follow-up. Tengamveni with the inside step, as easy as it comes. But that's what you get when you hunt the ball.
That's fantastic stuff. A kick is only as good as the chase. There was a phenomenal kick by Jonathan Fullion, rewarded with a good chase as he just nudges it over. And fantastic stuff by the UJ team. You've just conceded points. No better way to get yourself on the front foot than score a try off the back of that.
These FNB UJ backs are looking dangerous, and they are hungry, turning over balls, scoring from anywhere. As Fleurs goes deep again, but wonderful, wonderful hit from Mavovana on Masuku. But UJ clean up well. And the trusty boot of Fullion once again bangs it way downfield, gathered in by Miller. Van der Bank decides to go to the danger man, Fleurs. They got space out wide, Brendan Fenter. Smith, Van der Bank. This is where the FNB Marties are so good, when they just nudging the ball left, right. Solan to Seenswart. They need some cleaners, and they get it in the form of Solan. Van der Bank. Bierkus. Brilliant work again. Murray. He's been outstanding out there in the midfield.
Penalty advantage offside.
Bierkus, as we play advantage, and no advantage is accrued. So we'll come back for the offside penalty. Marty's looking good again.
They do look good with ball in hand. They're putting this defensive structures of UJ under a lot of pressure. If you'd notice at home that the scoreboard's changed to 21-13. We've had 2 7-point tries scored tonight, and that's phenomenal to see. And this is fantastic stuff. Mike Moravana scored a try in the first minute of last week's game, coming in with a massive tackle for his team. And Marty's with ball in hand, it's an absolute pleasure to watch him with ball in hand. The forwards have the ability to move the ball out the back to the fly half. Adrian van Bank, their captain, they get a lot of width on their ball or on their attack. It's also always great to watch, and this guy is just incapable of missing tonight.
And it's just every strike is so sweet when it comes off. Navalda Fleur's boot. We know what happened about 2 minutes ago. So
they haven't even had a chance to talk about that.
As it's saying, Chabalala gets up there, and again, unfortunately, FNB Marties just can't regather the kickoffs. Chabalala comes away with it. And this time, Baxter wants to go wide, but it's picked up by Amlashe. But there's a previous knock on, and looking dangerous out wide, but just not, unfortunately, not able to hold on to that.
And how so often happens, just as the referee says advantage over, the team spoils the ball. There was space for UJ on the edge. Unfortunately, couldn't hold on to that. Then Palash doing well to snatch that ball. Unfortunately, also not getting his pass away.
FNB Marties definitely have to do something with their kickoff receiving. It's just really putting them under pressure.
Putting themselves under a lot of pressure. You have to give credit where credit is due. Jonathan Fullion is giving that ball a massive amount of airtime, making it easy for his chasers to get under the ball and make it tough for the kick receipt. We've not seen a scrum complete in this match. We've had a penalty in all these scrums. Let's see if we can have one and see some good Marties rugby.
We'll have to wait for that scrum reset once again.
you could almost predict it now that you see it happening. Is UJ would have watched the game last week, saw this dominant scrum that Marty's had. They would have prepared for that, and they are trying to disrupt the scrum. And make no mistake, this UJ pack of forwards are also quite beefy.
Of course, Kabos Besaidenote and Caden Kivett. Caden Kivett has a twin brother at CUT. Looks he has.
Crouch!
That's going to be fun when they go up against. Well, they have, actually.
Bind!
First game.
Sit! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
As Smith puts it in. And the shove comes from UJ, and it's a turnover. Tight head. Viljoen with a chip behind. Amlashe tidies up. FNB Marty's under all sorts of pressure. Scrum time. Now in their own 22, Miller just bashes it up. And they're asking Edward Smith to clear his lines. But it goes straight to Jabir, but they decide, no, we'll take that. A good win from FNB UJ there.
Statement by the UJ pack of forwards, who's just talked up the scrum of the Marty's team, and they've completely walked over them. Encouraging stuff for the front row forwards, as well as a whole pack of this UJ team.
The hooker Darnell Asugwa coming in off the bench last week and making a big impact, here today. It's a bit of an overthrow. Seen Swart running like a center. Miller just tidies up. Smith out to Brendan Fenter. Fleurs with a bit of space out wide. Just says the bus is full. Smith to Miller. This is where UJ have been so dangerous on the ground. And stolen once again by the captain. Brilliant work from Johannes de Blanche. FNB UJ just doing what they want on the floor. Keegan Jabir decides, okay, we'll just calm things down. But FNB UJ, unbelievable on the ground.
That's the 4th, 5th turnover we see when the Marty's on attack, and they're doing exceptionally well to get their hands onto the ball and making it tough to Marty's to build momentum. Sian Swart, we've mentioned it before, it's an exciting play to watch. Something happens around this man every time he gets his hands on the ball and the hooker position.
I'd probably put my house on it that it's going to go to Simon Miller. He's been unbelievable in this line out. Oh, I lost my house.
Now they can put your car on the next one.
Matt Gray does brilliantly well, and it's a good set piece maul from the FNB Marty's, and they just reset once again. Just swinging it a little bit left, right. Simon Miller. This side take it out to Sian Swart. Van der Bank with a little dab through. Works brilliantly well for Brendan Fenter. Knocked forward. And it's Waka Salon. Great work from the FNB Marty's just when you think it's going out wide. It's a little nifty clip as we see all the handshakes and everything come out here. Brilliant work. A little bit of a change in play there. Brilliant change
Inventive
in play.
inventive stuff by the Marty's. Set up a fantastic driving ball in the pack of forwards that put them on the front foot as the ball got out. Arjan van Bank, little nudge off the left foot. Brendan Fenter trying with all his might to get the ball away. Fortunate for Waka Solan to get his hands on the ball, and he is one big midfielder getting over for a 5-pointer. Duly converted by Navaldo Fleurs, as you'd expect, and Marty's take the lead for the first time in this game.
Whoever made that call did absolutely brilliantly there for FNB Marty's. The pressure that came on that defense from FNB UJ, and just that little chip, just changing it up a bit, getting that ball in behind that really rushed defense.
And it's great. It just paints a different picture. It puts a bit of doubt in the UJ defense going forward in this game. Fantastic spot by whoever called it. Well executed kick by Adrian van der Drank. Good chase by Brendan Venter. 7 points later, leading by 2 points for the first time in this game.
And taken nicely this time by Miller. But held up again. Kunenungo does brilliantly well. He has been an absolute stalwart in this first half of this FNB UJ.
They've been phenomenal with that, getting the ball on the ground, holding up the ball carriers, making turnovers. They've put Martys under so much pressure defensively. Great work by the UJ pack of forwards. And concerning once again, Nick, we've said it plenty times before, not a position where you want to find yourself in after scoring points.
If
Guys, we need to go higher, okay?
I'm sure the guys will be talking at halftime about making sure there's always a cleaner on your back, because if you have a little bit of an isolation incident happening here from FNB Martys, FNB UJ will take advantage of it and take the ball away from you.
And you just have to be accurate at breakdown. You don't need a massive amount of numbers in that breakdown. You just need to be exceptionally accurate when you get over the ball. Take the first defender out and make sure you get clean ball.
Big scrum coming from FNB Martys. But it's Cheda, the player that rocks from last week, the Dale College boy. But brilliantly done from FNB Martys and holding on the ground. Great work. Whatever FNB UJ can do, FNB Martys can do better.
They're celebrating that from Marcus Alon more than they did his try 2 minutes ago. It is a great turnover just before halftime, under pressure. You don't want to allow the opposition to score. And that is a very, very big moment in this game.
Brilliant from Waka Salon. And it's usually those little things that spark a team.
And we said it earlier, it was it's a get out of jail free card for UJ earlier when they made their turnover, and the same goes this way. They just conceded points, inopportunity to score points.
As it goes to Salon, this time Makanda. Matanda does well to set it up. Bierkes, oh, so hard. Getting over the advantage line brilliantly. Fleers just coming around on the dummy run. Simon Miller. He needs to be very accurate because Tablanche is there, but not holding his own body weight. I think the first time there's a bit of handbags going on there. I think just a bit of frustration from both players.
Yeah, it's not great to see, but sometimes it's not the worst thing. Players just feeding each other out. Not great to see the other boys come in and join the fight.
Okay, thank you.
Tablanche has been phenomenal over on the ground, chasing the ball. And I thought he won that initial battle. Unfortunately, he lost his feet and couldn't carry on with the steal. And probably a right call by the referee. Just get both captains in, settle things down a bit. We're 2 minutes away, 1 minute away from halftime. We don't need anything silly.
And it has been unbelievable as we hear.
Okay, sort it out. Ons gebeur nie weer nie. Skud hande. As hy, okay?
Fantastic chat by the referee. We know you both acers. Acers, that's fantastic. And they're two phenomenal players are Johannes Tablanche and Simon Miller. And you expect two acers to sometimes knock over the heads, yes. This will be massive. This will be massive for Martys if they can manage to score some points just before halftime. They've not led in this game for 35 minutes. They're 2 points up. If they can get another score just before halftime, they'll completely shift the momentum in their favour and come into the second half with a lot of energy.
As Miller towels up, unfortunately goes over the back, as you were just saying. This is what they needed right now. Calvin Kenungo, he's been so good. And it's Viljoen, the big spirally torpedo down the middle of the field. And you'd think after the hooter here, Navaldo Fleurs might just say, we've had enough this half. We're 2 points up. What a brilliant first half of rugby we've had here at the Donny Craven Stadium. The crowd are going absolutely mad. We'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere for the FNB Varsity Cup Rugby That Rocks.
Curry Cup, brought to you by SA Rugby and Carling Black Label on SuperSport, your world of champions. It's all or nothing. No excuses. No second chances. You have to risk it all. Your body, your reputation, your honor, your sanity.
Oh, magnificent! What a try! Oh, that's brilliant! What a game! What a finish!
Watch Six Nations put it all on the line on SuperSport on DStv Premium.
It's not just our strength, passion, or pride that pushes us to win. It's a voice that we hear inside that echoes your voice when you join together in song and celebration.
You are more than just rugby fans. You are the fans that rock. And this is Rugby That Rocks, the 2022 Varsity Rugby season, live on SuperSport, proudly sponsored by FNB and Steers.
I'm sitting here with Chief Director of Marty's Sports, Elam Groenewald. Elam, how are you feeling tonight? How do you feel about hosting Varsity Cup again this year?
Well, it's always an honor, and we're very proud because we filled our stadium with capacity as well. We sold our tickets within 10 minutes, so it's wonderful to have all our fans back. So it's always an honor. Thank you.
Amazing. What does the Speak Up campaign mean to you?
We're asking our students and our student athletes to speak up. Everyone goes through difficult times, especially the last 2 years. We know our student athletes have a next level of responsibility, and that means there's a lot of pressure on them. There are support systems at all our universities, through the coaches, through the managers. We're asking them to speak up. We are here to help them.
Absolutely fantastic. And one more last question. Tomorrow we are celebrating International Women's Day. What's your sort of encouragement or word of advice for any sort of lady that wants to go into sport for Marty's?
Well, the theme for this year is Stop the Bias, and we're asking everyone to be aware, everyone to support women, women to support men, and make them aware. The basic thing that we want in life is respect. We know that each one of us have different abilities and capabilities, and we're saying to everyone out there, women need to take up more senior leadership positions. We need to be at the decision-making table, and it's time for us, every one of us, to stop the bias.
Elam Groenewald, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
And we have the Director of Sport there, Mrs. Groenewald. Stop the bias. Ladies, get involved. You know, this game's for everybody. Get out there, play. And of course, we're talking about the mental health issues, the pandemic. And, you know, people just need to speak up. If you are struggling, there's always a place that you can go to. Andries, but what a game we've had here so far. This first half Fleurs has been unbelievable with the boot. Penalties galore. Brilliant finishing tries here from Lashe. As we see it once again, scrum time.
And this has been a bit of a gamble, scrum time. We've seen Marties dominate 1 or 2. We've seen this UJ team come back fighting, and they have been a pack with a point to prove. Fantastic stuff. It's been a battle on the ground between the open side flankers and those midfielders trying to steal balls. We look at the first try scored by Brendan Pawson, and that was right from the kickoff. UJ were just phenomenal in the first 5 minutes of this game. Put Marties under pressure, scored 2 tries, and Marties have done exceptionally well to come back. Pressure on Smith, ball in there, anyone's ball. Fantastic chase, kick, and a great finish. And right at this point, you got the feeling that this UJ team is finding some momentum, and they're going to make it a long night for Marties.
See Marties once again going out wide, and what a brilliant finish from Lashe, stretching. You know, you've got to be a special player to be able to do that and just know when to go for that try line. Yeah. 3 players around him, and he still gets it there. A finisher.
And we didn't mention it. This came from their own half, the previous try. 7-point try, which helped a lot. Greater scheme of things. That little kick by Adrian from a bank, just phenomenal. Waka Salan getting over for the try, and we saw them celebrate this. Always a little dance. We used to dance after the games. These days you dance during the game. It's fantastic to see these guys enjoying themselves out on the park. And then a try again by UJ to get themselves within reach.
You see the Steers build a burger competition here. The ladies going mad, making sure they get the gherkins and the lettuce. Oh, and even one of the ladies inside the burger there too.
Interesting outfits they're wearing. I didn't know COVID expected that of us. It's good to see them get the whole burger built. Last week we had a couple of guys out there building a burger. They had 2 buns and 1 patty, and that's it. Who needs garnish on a burger?
You know what they say, eh? If you want to have a salad, you can buy some chicken.
Yeah, we can look forward to a fantastic second half. Both these teams are out here to play. Marties have done really well to keep the ball in hand. And the longer you keep hold of a rugby ball, the more tackles you force the opposition to make, the more mistakes they will eventually make. Someone misses a tackle, you breach a defensive line, you get them into the scramble defense, and then there's space on the edges.
But then Marties really do need to make sure they have a cleaner there, and somebody, because FNB UJ have been outstanding when it comes to ruck time on the ground. They have been turning over 3, I think maybe 4 or 5 turnovers. You know, just 1 or 2 FNB Marties players being isolated, and that just kills your momentum.
Yeah, they have. They've done really well. They've done exceptionally well to turn over Marties' ball, and I wouldn't necessarily think that Marties need to send more players into that breakdown situations. They just need to be a bit more accurate when they take out that first defender. Make sure you're moving off the ball, protect the ball from there on inwards. Smith must get on, Edwin Smith, he must get to the ball as quickly as possible and make it move. It's tough to make turnovers when you're on the back foot. Defensively, if you make positive tackles, you can get over the ball and steal it. As soon as you're on the back foot and you're making negative tackles, it's exceptionally difficult to get in that ball and to force that steal.
So FNB UJ, the underdogs, and like last week, they started in orange and finish in the black. And how well has this black jersey done for the FNB UJ players? What do you think Coach Jonathan McQuarnas told the guys now, as we see a massive Mexican wave coming on here?
I think more of the same for the UJ team. Defensively, they have to sharpen up a bit. They're making good steals, but they're allowing the Marties team to get over that vantage line when they're carrying. So they're not making those positive tackles to stop the momentum, and then they're finding themselves wanting towards the back end of those phases. So pick it up defensively, make a bit more, well, make more positive tackles, get off the line, make good tackles, put Marties defensive, or put Marties under pressure. You know, test their skill set, put their skill set under pressure, and see what they can do from there. For the Marties team, hold on to the ball, play in the right parts of the field, and don't give away penalties.
Norman Jordan would definitely have spoken to his troops. Marius Herter would have definitely had a few words to that front row and that tight 5. So dominant last week against Wits, giving away a few scrum time penalties.
But Caden Kivet and France Poseidon, they've been phenomenal. And, you know, Osuagwa, he's a phenomenal rugby player, he's a big boy, and they've done exceptionally well in the scrum time.
As another deep kickoff goes, and this time brilliantly taken by Bierkes. A little backflip there, I think.
Use!
Smith onto Van der Bank. Good clearance off his left.
Better. It's better by Martins. We look at this. Werner Matongo, Bierkes up in there. That's a great take. You have to have no regard for your life to do that, I must say. And we saw Beast do that in his younger days, and he kept Andron Wrestler up in the air. Werner Matongo had other ideas, just flipped him over back onto his feet. Way less energy exerted doing that.
But a little more impressive sometimes with the backflip. Also, Agu has been so good in the scrum time. Let's see if he finds his line-out jumper. Goes for Piwa Adu.
Lost.
Bit of a scrappy line-out. It's Cheetah, the player that rocks from last week, takes it up. UJ not getting too much go forward. But Chabalala, who's been so hungry on the ball. Yobe. Donal Asugwa. Oh. Good carry from him. Brendan Pawson.
What was out?
Big defensive effort there from Muller. And he forces a knock-on. Brilliant work from Simon Levis, shooting out of the line there and just putting massive amounts of pressure.
Yeah, defensively a good phase of play for the Marties team. It's the first time really in this match that we've seen the UJ team hold on to the ball. And you want to see that happen a bit more. They've got some strong ball carriers. They've got pace out wide. If they hold on to the ball, they could create opportunities.
But F&B Marties up to that challenge. And a great defensive effort from them. And their big number 8, Simon Miller. First scrum in the second half. Let's see what the scrum coaches had to say.
Crouch!
And if they can implement it here.
Bind! Second white!
Good scrum coming from, but it pops out onto Masuku, who does brilliantly well to the big, small number 8, and it gets out to Rowan Malgas, who scored a wonderful try last week, and he gets on the board again for his FNB UJ. Definitely against the run of play, but again, the FNB UJ guys so hungry. Every time there's a sniff, they grab it. Andries.
Yeah, another scrum against the throw. I thought that popped out the front of the scrum and should have been a reset. Well played by Masuku, got into space. Malgas over the try line for 5 pointers and heartbreaking stuff. It must be for the Marties coaching team. If we look at this ball, comes out the mouth of the scrum, you'd say. Masuku did exceptionally well here to break the tackle from Edwin Smith. Another strong carry, all flow to the inside. And then Malgas over for a 5-pointer.
And what a dive it was too. The FNB UJ celebrating with them behind. Kane Nunga has been absolutely brilliant, hasn't he? Just linking up with everybody and stealing when he needs to, scored the try. He's been brilliant at the back. Not the biggest number 8 you'll ever see, but doing brilliantly well. And this time it's FNB UJ that cannot regather the kickoff. Van der Bank goes to Gray, Natty Gray.
Vonage over!
Smith. Fleers with a little look in.
Now release!
Tieda with a defensive effort. Big take up here by the FNB Marties. You can just feel them building it up. So well coached by Norman Yudan. And it's the big man, Cian Swat. He's been a titan on the field today. Good placement coming in. Brilliant work from the FNB Marties once again. James Combrink did brilliantly well there, bouncing off a few would-be tacklers. Who's there again? Matanda is on. Cian Swart's back. Quick ball for Smith. Combrink again. Oh, he's a tank. This time Smith decides to go by himself. Brendan Venter does the scrummy honors. Matonga.
Got it.
He got it once again. And it's Kune Nungo who gets away with it.
Last feet.
Such great build-up there from the FNB Marties. And FNB UJ once again steal it away.
Yeah, Jonathan de Blanche again getting onto that ball in a heartbeat and forcing the turnover. But Marties again, they look when they have the ball in hand, they had the UJ team and a lot of pressure over there. And fortunately for the UJ team, their captain Johannes de Blanche gets over that ball. James Combrink, a beast of a human on the field for the Marties team. Struggle with a bit of injuries as of late. And it'll be good to see this man go.
He's a big man, and when he gets going,
He's on his way.
I don't want to be anywhere near that.
Cian Swart just getting some running repairs. He's the hooker from Marties. He's been all over the show this evening.
Cian Swart finds Matt Gray. Decides to take it up at pretty entirely. Mavovana cleans it up, does well to get over that advantage line. Bierkus
tackle.
Does well, change of direction, little wrap around. Brendan Venter, just like his father, knows one way, rach uit. Murray, he's had a blinder of a game today. Cian Swart's calling for it as he has Matanda on his back. Smith. Oh, Van der Bank, a little show and go. He needs some support. Comes in the way of Smith and Combrink. And this is where Cian Swart is so good. Just holding onto the ball of the FNB Marties. Bierkus once again. Venter, little space. Waka Salon. You're going to have to really put your body in the line to tackle that man. But we'll come back for not rolling away.
Again, good play by Marties. If they hold on to the ball, they're exceptionally dangerous. They get runners over the gain line, and they're putting UJ under a lot of pressure.
And that's exactly what they need to do. Just hold on to that ball. They've got the runners. They've got the big men. As long as they can just retain that possession, they'll find points.
Hold on to the ball. Don't give away penalties. Play on the right parts of the field, and keep getting the scoreboard to tick over. Navaldo Fleers lining up the easiest kick of the night for him.
And FNB UJ will obviously be looking for those absolute hyenas. You know, just for anything that's on the ground, just grabbing it.
Yeah, Johannes de Blanche has been out of this world when it comes to competing for the ball on the ground. And Marties again, they played a lot of rugby. They've got 3 points to show for it. They need to get this ball, retain the kick-off, kick it into the half of UJ. They're playing with a slight breeze at their back as the wind has slightly changed over the last couple of minutes. They've got the wind at their backs. Kick it into the right part of the field and get these big forwards over the gain line, and then they put the lights of the Brendan Venters, Wakas Alliance, and Evaldo Fleers into space.
Another deep, high, long kick. Miller does brilliantly well to take it and secure it for FNB Marties. Combrink goes straight over one of the FNB UJ players. Oh, he's a tank of a man. Big kick from Van der Bank for Leon. She's a little bit space to the left, but Fleers is up for it. And with a big kick coming from Fleers, definitely a win for the FNB Marties there. Massive kick coming on from Navaldo Fleers.
That's a good kick by Navaldo Fleers on his left foot.
Number 9,
with a 40-meter gain for his Marty's team. Put his team into the half of UJ as we look at Mikhail Volmoer coming on at number 9 for Edwin Smith. Scored a phenomenal try last weekend as he came off the bench. First time he touched the ball, went over the whitewash.
Move!
Well taken there by FNB UJ.
Going sideways, that's once.
But the referee calls once.
Okay, let it come.
Keegan Yabe decides he wants to go up in the air. Doesn't get too much distance. Well taken from Matanda. And it's Volmoer decided to go out wide. Lots of space for the FNB Marty's out wide here. Murray, he looks so dangerous when he gets ball out wide. Matty Gray. Van der Bank with a bit of space out wide. Waka Salon. Brendan Venter takes it from his centre partner. Big hit coming on. Sian Swart there from Caden Kivit. But another turnover. How good have these FNB UJ been on the ground? Kick coming from Keegan Jabe. FNB Marty's tails are up. They want to play.
Uncanny how they manage to turn that ball over on the try line every single time. They get the Marty's team excited. They get the fans off their seats to the Marty's team, and then there's a UJ guy spoiling their party. A lot of character shown by this UJ team. They've had to fight hard for their 2-point lead, and they are hanging on to that with everything they have.
As we see CJ Masuku limping off, he has been massive in defense too.
Move!
Great take from Bierkus. Sian Swart gets the setup at the back of the mall. Combrim asks him to bring it to him. But Pawson comes in from the side, an advantage for the FNB Marty's. Bierkus goes the direct route. Volmoer to Rainsberger, another little chip, and unfortunately we'll have to come back.
Number 5.
Yeah, they had
for
a
the
free
penalty.
play. Yeah, they had a free play at Marty's and a little chip over the top. Volmoer, Adrian van der Bank again trying that defty right foot over the defensive line of the UJ team, and
So
back into the
side.
corner. Back into the corner for Marty's.
6 up.
FN Marty's, you can just feel that the momentum is behind them right now. Sian Swart finds Bierkus once again.
Leave the legs.
Kombrink gets in front of Sian Swart, and the breakaway from Sian Swart. He gets so close, but you can't stop him. So close to the line. Sian Swart, every time he's played, he's scored this season. Another one to the brilliant hooker who's had an outstanding game.
It just seems like if you're the first defender trying to stop this man, it's impossible. So you have to send more than 2 people in to go stop him. Fantastic finish by Sian Swart. It's a good setup by the Marty's team. Got slightly disjointed towards the end there. Got James Combrink throwing his weight in behind Sian Swart. Fantastic score for Marty's. This man has been phenomenal since he's joined the Marty's fold.
He's on fire. He can't stop scoring.
It just looks like he's enjoying himself, isn't it? He's out there having a blast, scoring tries, smashing people, and just doing what he wants.
There's Navaldo Fleurs. The wind is quite a stiffy breeze now. We'll have to rush his kick a little. But who needs a minute when you can take 5 seconds and strike it like Fleurs has all night long. F&B Marties, 33 points to F&B UJ 28. This game is really turning into something special here at the Donny Craven Stadium tonight.
It certainly has. Gift Dlamini on the field for Siyabonga Matanda. Gift Dlamini, a starter early on in the season. He'll want to come and make an impression out here to go against this UJ team.
And another mistake coming off the restart. I think something they really need to work on just to calm things down. They got the wind at their backs. They could have booted that far downfield. We know how good Van der Bank is.
Yeah, they've got Adrian van der Bank, they've got Navaldo Vleets who can kick the ball, Brendan Fenton, no Schleich himself. They do have the opportunity to have Marty to kick the ball into the half of UJ and then keep building the pressure on them, leading again by 5 points.
We also have Masuka off and Abba on for the F&B UJ. He's a legend Del College man himself. My old alma mater, the red and black on attack. Good scrum from UJ and a penalty going the way of F&B UJ. They've had more of the fair share, I think, more than their fair share of scrum penalties today, Andres.
No, they have. They've disrupted this marquee scrum and they've done exceptionally well to do that. And you have to take your hat off to Kaden Kivit, France Basano. They've been phenomenal. So has Osuagwa in the front row for this UJ team.
Donald Osuagwa from Nigerian descent. Imagine if we could get Nigeria playing some good rugby.
Some big humans up north.
Big humans, strong.
Athletic as well. Jonathan Viljoen, quiet game by his standards, has an opportunity to get his team back in the hunt. And games like these that are going to come down to the wire, you need your big players, Jonathan Viljoen, you need your Johannes de Blanche, you need your Kanunangos, all those players to put their hands up to give you the edge.
And I think that's exactly what F&B UJ would have wanted, just to get those points. But Marty's, once again, just off the restarts, not securing possession, not getting out of their own half and costing them points. As Clears goes deep once again. And it's Gaba, the Dale College boy, takes it up. Viljoen with his big boot. Long, raking kick.
That's a
Brilliant.
fantastic kick into the breeze. Jonathan Viljoen, and that's what he'll do for you as a fly half. He'll relieve the pressure. He'll get those long kicks into the opposition half and make you breathe a sigh of relief.
And brilliantly done. So low, so hard. You know, you kick it up high, it's going to be taken back by the wind. But the experience coming through there from Viljoen. Marty's a bit untidy, but they regain possession. Volmoer to Bierkes. They've looked to him to carry a lot tonight, and he's done ever so well. Salan. Just tightening things up a bit. Not rolling away. Penalty for F&B. Marty's get into the corner, Andres.
Yes, I think this is within range for Navaldo Vleets. He's been kicking the ball quite nicely tonight. And again, in these matches, just keep on building the scoreboard pressure. It's going to come down to the wire this game. We got this feeling from the start. And when you do have an opportunity, take the points.
He has been kicking exceptionally well tonight. You called it from the beginning.
I tend to get things right every now and again.
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and again.
As you can see, the breeze is up a bit, and you need someone else to hold the ball. Always a concern for a kicker, because you don't often train like this.
Yes.
It's a massive kick from Fleurs. But unfortunately, I think the wind just not taking it as much leftwards as he hoped.
Yeah, no harm done there. UJ kicking the ball off the 20-meter line. And Martin will get an opportunity to get into that phase play that's been so good for them in this game. So going to a strategy break in the second half. It's been entertaining. 2 points in it with 20 minutes to go. Everything to play for these two teams.
As we look at that beautiful stadium, all the students back in the stadium. Hopefully after Uncle Searle next week Sunday we can get up to 50%.
Yeah, it's just good to see the students have fun, enjoy themselves, watch a bit of rugby. Monday night rugby in Stellenbosch. You can't ask for anything better.
Marie-Louise, you are the F&B fan that rocks. Where are you people at? How does it feel? You are second year being back here and winning F&B player that rocks.
I mean, it's such an honor. It's my first time ever at a Varsity Cup game, and man, is this a vibe.
Ah man, and then of course Marie, you've got a billboard that says, my pa het gesê as hy die sien, sal hy geld stuur vir wyn. Wat 'n wyn?
Surely a nice bottle of red wine.
Van waar kom daai wyn?
Hopefully not my own money. Kanon Kop Cadet, surely.
Daar sê Marie, thank you so much. Hey, you're a rock star.
As we see somebody that has been asking the dad to maybe get herself a nice little bit of, well, I heard Kanon Cadet, but you know, I would have thought, man, go for more of the, you know, the not the cheaper one.
Use your words. Also, use your words. I was going to say more quantity, less quality as a first-year student. That's what you're looking for, and yeah, we can give them some advice in that department.
Quantity over quality, I think, when you're a student.
Just fantastic. At a first Varsity Cup game, what a vibe she says it is. We only had 2,000 capacity at this stage. Imagine what it would be like if you can have a full house at the Donny Craven.
And we heard the director of sport, Mr. Raval, say that it was sold out, all 2,000 tickets were sold out in 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. That's how much you know, the students want to be at the games.
Another change for Marty's. Sian Swart being replaced by Chris Rousseau, son of former World Cup winning Springbok, also by the name Chris Rousseau.
Simon Miller gets the bounce, and it's Tarquin. Marquin
Titus on the field for Marty's, and sloppy stuff by the Marty's team, allowing that ball to bounce. Fortunately got the bounce in the end, got the hands onto the ball and can carry into the opposition half. That is a win for UJ.
Titus Marquin was really good last week too, coming on, scoring some tries, starting last week. As a brilliant steal from Miller. Fulmu decides to get it out wide. It's Murray. Brendan Fenter goes to Amlashe. Oh, he makes Shabalala stand still. Van der Bank, Combrink, the tank. Van der Bank, they do like to go wide, don't they? But picked up here by Rowan Malchus, diminutive, but very quick on his feet. Scored a wonderful try last week. Titus McQueen. To Maddie Gray. And it's Van der Bank who decides, let's put it up in the air and ask some questions. Questions are asked. FNB UJ get it back, but everybody off their feet. Good decision to go high.
Yeah, it's a win for the Maltese team. At the time, I thought it was an interesting decision to go for the high kick instead of just kicking into space with the wind they have in their backs and trying to pin UJ down in their own 22-meter line. Worked out for the Maltese team. Navaldo Fleers kicking that into the corner and giving his pack of forwards a bit of relief, put them on the front foot and giving them an opportunity to get stuck in to this driving maul, which I presume we'll see.
I think you're probably right, you know, the blind squirrel and the nut.
And I was just about to say that it just feels like his Maltese team refuses to kick the ball away. And in a certain sense, that's great to see them back their own skills and their ability to hold on to the ball. In a game like this, sometimes you feel that, oh, when you're in these situations, getting the ball into opposition half is probably a better thing to do.
Once again, they go to Miller. This time, Chris Rousseau. Ball's taken away, though, from the FNB UJ. Good work. Chabalala off their feet once again, straight off their feet. 2 penalties in a row.
Again, the captain, Johannes de Blanche, ripping that ball out of the hands of Chris Rousseau. And there was a great opportunity for the UJ. They had numbers aplenty on the left-hand edge. If they managed to get that ball free, they would have been into space. And remember, scoring a try from your own half, 7 points and a kick to come.
It's now the FNB Maltese who's putting a lot of pressure at ruck time, forcing the FNB UJ to go off their feet to secure that ball. Chris Rousseau finds his line-out jumpers once again. This time they decide for the big drive, and it's a good set piece. Fulmers having a little sneaky look around the side as we see a boot come off one of the players. Chris Rousseau holding onto it brilliantly at the back. Here they go. He's so close. And he's over. What a brilliantly worked try there from the FNB Maltese. You could almost see it coming.
Great stuff by the Maltese back or forward. They had to work hard for that try. Set up quite nicely. Solid in their setup. Good drive, leg drive were all involved. And Chris Rousseau being rewarded by what is certainly a team try for Maltese.
And what brilliant patience did FNB Maltese show there. Just not to panic. Chris Rousseau did brilliantly to just hold on to that ball at the back.
And if you look at the pack of fours for the Maltese, well set, low enough to get around the edge. James Gombrink has been phenomenal since he's been on the field. And I got the feeling that Chris Rousseau broke away slightly early, did well to finish in the end. 5 points for his team and a kick to come.
You always say that you'd like to be over the try line before you dip down. You might learn from that as Fleers does unbelievably well once again with the boot. This man can do no wrong today.
Yeah, and a bit of breathing space for Maltese, the first time in this match. And you often say that the time that you want to score points just before and just after half-time to get the momentum going. And with the strategy breaks that we have in the FNB Varsity Cup, you get the same feeling when it comes to those. They score just before, just after the strategy break. You put yourself on the front foot. You've got the momentum.
As the UJ hunt down that ball once again. And it's a offsides, knock-on offsides.
How often do you get the try scorer involved directly from the kickoff? It feels to me every time someone scores a try, they kick the ball on him. Unfortunate for Chris Rousseau, in the wrong place at the wrong time. And again, a kickoff that Maltese have not been able to field. A real concern has to be for the coaches. It's a recurring problem they've had in last week and this one. Score points and then you put yourself under pressure. And you have to work hard to get yourselves out of these situations.
And in the same breath, we must say that they use it as an attacking opportunity to FNB UJ.
Yep.
Good kick-off.
Jonathan Fulgun has got those things on a pinpoint.
And a brilliant take there by FNB UJ by Jesse Johnson. And this time, it's the FNB UJ that go. And an advantage is being played for bringing down the maul. And brilliantly done again by Tlope. FNB UJ still playing the advantage. They decide to go out wide. Amlashe, but this time Titus Marquin is up to it. But we'll come back for the penalty. Pulling down the maul, says the referee.
No, holding on to the ball on the ground is a referee's call. 2 penalties and the collapsing.
You can take it closer.
Rowan Mocha's giving it his all, but a fantastic tackle by Titus in the corner, preventing them from getting over for a score. Maturity shown again by Jonathan Viljoen, asking the referee if he could have the one closer to touch, because that's where we want to go. Makes the kick a little easier in these breezy conditions. Ball going out wide. Good pass by Jonathan Viljoen. Marquin Titus, tremendous defensive effort.
And it's a set more by the FNB UJ, but disrupted brilliantly from the FNB Moatis. We'll come back for a penalty.
Yeah, I think this is unfortunate. In the setup, in the lead up to that ball going to ground, the Moatis player had the ball ripped from the UJ player, and that call, in my opinion, is exceptionally tough against Gift Glamini.
You'll spend most of the rest of the game in the afkoel stoel, as they call it here at the Varsity Cup, the FNB Varsity Cup.
I wonder if you can request a burger when you're there.
Well, steers do deliver. And then they decide to go short this time. Straight to Elijah Quitonda. UJ, many replacements on. Murray does brilliantly. Outstanding work from Murray. Not only can he run, but he can steal. Combrink. But FNB UJ resolute in their defense. Van der Bank with a good clearance.
They've got a referee's flag here. What a big moment that was for the Vet Marie, forcing that turnover. Moments like that, when you're under the cuff, you want your big players to stand up, and that was tremendous by David Marie.
Okay, dangerous tackle against Mortis on the 5. Do you have a number?
I don't have a number, but those players went down, but it was still high.
Okay, so is it a penalty only? Penalty only, we don't have a number. Okay. He's got foul play against one of your players. He didn't get the number. It's a penalty only on the 5. Get back on the goal line.
So that's
dangerous
another
tackle.
penalty that goes the way of the FNB UJ. Just a bit of a hard tackle. And we'll kick for the corner again. 9 points in it, 10 to play.
Yeah, that was a
miscommunication.
Miscommunication, as a referee mentioned.
So it's just a penalty on the 5.
Oh, miscommunication.
Imagine being in that position. You're thinking you're having to tackle for your life, and then you get the one going your way. And this man has got a massive lead, and he can relieve some pressure for the team. It's good work done by the Marty's team all around. They put themselves in that position, not fielding the kickoff. They've had to fight to get themselves out of that position. Turnover by David Marais would have stood in any case. And now a kick to kick it into the 10-meter line, and you'll throw in.
Good kick again from Navaldo Fleers. Not much space to work with the touch line. Chris Rousseau getting some instructions from Rainsberger. Unfortunately, it just goes over to the back. And a bit scrappy, but it comes away from FNB UJ. Kubeka is on the field for Yobe. Kubeka has been in the team many times for a long time as Lope takes it up. Kubeka.
No.
Apia Adu does the cleaning. Good cleaning work there for the FNB UJ. The big man. Kana. Oh, that's Van Buren. The Cares boy. Kubeka. Oh, just held on by the FNB UJ. Kloppe once again doing brilliant work. He has been so good. But isolated though. And stolen by FNB Marties. Brendan Fenter, take your hat off. Fleurs gives a massive kick. And Malchus picks it up. But this time, Shabalala, we know how dangerous he is. Kubeka. And I think offsides was the call from the referee.
Available, use it.
Piadu is the halfback as Baxter gets it. Good work and works around again. This time, Taylor. The tackle is there, tackle is made, and the ball comes back to Kubeka. Good cleaning from Kubeka, he's always there. Baxter makes the pass, but straight to the towering force of Miller. And it's Van der Bank who clears the lines.
And a sigh of relief for this Marties team. We had a 7-point score on our hands at one stage. UJ with probably their best attacking phase of play since the start of this game. As you see Chris Rousseau with a slight problem and does not look happy.
It's so good to see Baxter coming in. Sean Christian Baxter really making some good work out of this. As we see Van der Bank also not feeling too comfortable after that kick.
It's been a mammoth battle between both these teams, and we see a lot of guys with their hands on their knees and just trying to seep in some air. It's been physically tiring for all these players. 8 minutes to go. Marties with 14 men on the field fighting for their lives.
They decide to go short again to Quitonda, and they go wide, but an untidy pass. Amlashe gives a chip through. Khasi Malchus is there to clean it up, but Amlashe is back on his feet. So much pressure on the FNB UJ now.
I'm in line.
Good work from Mputi. And Fillion just decides, okay, let's calm things down here. But this is where FNB Marties want to be with 5 minutes, 6 minutes to play.
This is where they want to camp out for the rest of this game. Only leading by 9 points. Remember, in the Varsity Cup, that 7-point score still makes it possible for UJ to score one try and be even Stevens with the Marties team. As you look, David Marie making a leave off the field, and also the captain Adrian van der Bank. David Marie has been exceptional today. We saw him make a couple of good carries, steals, tackles. He's been all over the field. He carries exceptionally well for the Marties team on the edges. Gave them go forward, and the work rate of note.
Outstanding from Maria today. There's another untidy ball comes across. But it's the FNB Marties who do brilliantly well as Dlamini comes away with it. Sorry, Jesse Johnson comes away with it. But it's held on again. And a penalty going the way of the FNB UJ. And how many times have we seen it? FNB Marties on the ascendancy, and it's just somebody, a hyena, just grabs it away from the FNB Marties.
Jesse Johnson with a good step, down the man wanting, good carry up the middle, and look at this, another big moment by FNB UJ to make that turnover. Yuri Mattia on the field also for the Marties team, ex-Paul Kamboiki.
As we see Fillion also coming off.
Move!
Taken by Van Buren, the man from Kes.
Got him.
Mputi as well at the back. And the penalty is accrued.
Advantage.
Advantage. No advantage.
Number 17 swimming around.
coming back for the penalty.
You can just sense the intensity of both these teams, Lifter, and you can feel Marty's under a bit of pressure. 14 men on the field. UJ knowing that this is the time to strike. They need to get into the half of Marty's, get points on the board, and then fight for the last couple of minutes in this game.
So short Christian Baxter coming into the fly-off position. Untidy again, but it is taken up by Ting Mfene, who's been brilliant with ball in hand. Van Buren, scrappy again for Kubeka, but Shabalala, as always, making sure that FNB UJ gets some decent go forward. As we see Maddie Gray.
Stop, stop.
Big raking kick. This is a 7-point try coming if FNB UJ can work it back, but oh, massive hit from Combrink. Oh, I think he broke some ankles.
Tackle!
As we look at the phase of play here, we have to start thinking about who the player that rocks will be tonight, and a couple of contenders in both teams. We look at this tackle from James Combrink. That is massive. Both teams, some players that contended for the Varsity Cup player that rocks for the UJ team. Captain Johannes de Blanche has been amazing in tonight's game, forcing turnover after turnover and putting Marty's under pressure. Navaldo Fleers had a solid game once again, kicked most of his kicks today and has been very influential. But tonight's player that rocks, as we see James Combrink with another tackle, has to go to the Marty's hooker, Sian Swart. He's been amazing throughout this campaign. Had another strong performance today, and every time he touches the ball, something exciting happens. Sian Swart, today's player that rocks.
FNB player that rocks, Sian Swart. Unbelievable, but not only today, but all year.
The ruck was formed. Once a ruck, always a ruck.
As we hear the referee say, once a ruck, always a ruck. And just remind me, Andres, is this a 7-pointer still?
Not anymore. Now that they've opted to go for touch, if they score a try now, that's going to be a 5-point try with the conversion to come.
As we come to the business end of the competition. This game. Sian Swart, an excellent performance from him.
Maul!
FNB UJ
Ball's intact.
with a last gasp attempt. Another penalty coming the way. FNB Marty's giving so many. Kubeka decides to take it quickly. It's Makana.
Just get out.
And Kloppe. Van Buren has been brilliant since he's come on. Quitanda goes all the way. How did that happen? What a brilliant score from Elijah Quitanda. And this time, they need to get it over, and the kickoff with only about 5 seconds to play. What an end to this game, 40 points to 38. As we see Quitanda breaking 1, 2, 3, 4, and the stretch. Unbelievable work from the replacement front rower. I wish Andres was next to me because this is getting really exciting now. As the hooter goes, and FNB UJ need to run from their own 22, hold on to the ball. Baxter has been good.
Tackle!
Tiada, Indy Tiada has been brilliant as a center. Big men, UJ. Kubeka to the captain. What a brilliant game he's had so far. Tiada, Dale College, Amador Da. But this time off their feet. And sadly, the brave FNB UJ came here as underdogs. stood up like heroes to this epic battle at Donny Craven Stadium. What a game we've had here today. And they decided to just go for the touchline. And it's FNB Marties with a brilliant, calculated victory over the FNB UJ. What a game we've had here today. Cian Swart has had an unbelievable, brilliant game, not only today, but all season when he's come on. Nafaldo Fleurs has kicked like his life depended on it, and always kept FNB Marties just in the game. FNB Marties did brilliantly to hold on to that ball. But when it counted, Johannes de Blanche, Calvin, Kunenungo, and so many others from FNB UJ were the jackals, the hyenas, scraping and making those crucial turnovers. A brilliant game here from both teams, an exciting rugby with FNB Rugby that rocks here at the Varsity Cup. Some tired bodies, some really tired people out there. And I think both teams will look back on this game as hard-fought wins. Some mistakes made from both. As we see, this was crucial, absolutely crucial, and brilliant work from the FNB Marties, because the rush defense of that FNB UJ as a celebration. Let's take a view of that again. Loving life. Just changed it up a little bit. A little dab in behind the FNB UJ. Good work from Van der Bank. And again, whenever the FNB UJ had a sniff of the try line, they took their opportunities. Great work. And the style from Rowan Khasi Malkhas in the dive. Definitely one for the replays. But it was this man here, Cian Swart, who was outstanding in the scrums, lineouts, and loose play, that gets our FNB player that rocks. And again, Combrink, brilliant. As we'll go down to the interviews.
Het was een hard-fought game. Het was baie lekker geweest. Ik denk die boys het hard gewerkt. Ze het in die week ook hard gewerkt en ons het ons proces reg gekry en ek dink is besig om af te betaal.
Busy turning around this season for FNB Marties, you guys are, and you managed to find a way to get over the try line every weekend.
Ja, ag nou, dankie sê vir my forward pack. Hulle help my ook baie, maar ja, ek dink die ouens se gemoed en hulle dryf is reg en ek dink dit is hoekom ons elke game goed doen en verbeter elke keer.
And to reward you for that, Philip is here from FNB to hand you over your pink cap, and from FNB Connect, a Fitbit Charge 4, and also 1,500 Rand to entertain your friends with. Well done.
Your FNB player that rocks, Cian Swart. What a lovely game he's had, and you can see how much he enjoyed that.
Go on. With me tonight, losing captain Johannes de Blanche. You gave it all out there today. The result didn't go your way.
Yeah, I think we definitely had a chance in the game. We need to capitalize on a few things, but looking forward to the next game. There's definitely a few workouts, but still the competition is long, so we can come back stronger.
You certainly can. You looked at the Marties game from last week. You saw them dominating the scrums, and tonight you came out and proved them wrong.
Yeah, also last week we struggled in the scrum against Puck, so this week we tried to work a lot on the scrums and stuff, and I think we can still get better both sides, but yeah, it's a tough game, but yeah, we're looking forward to the next next game.
Johannes, it wasn't meant to be tonight. You fought well today, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thanks.
Ja, kom op. Will you tell us when? With me tonight, Adrian van der Bank again, second time as a winning captain. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's good. It was a scrappy game, but I'm glad we pulled it through. Goals didn't go our way today, but that's things we can't control. But we're just happy to pull these games through. It gives us a lot of confidence.
You're made to work hard for this victory out here tonight. Do you think that builds for the character in the team going forward?
Yeah, definitely builds for the character. I mean, the game could have gone anyway, and if we lost it today, it might have broken us down. But yeah, all in all, we're just happy with the victory.
Are you happy where the team's heading going into almost the business end of this competition?
Yeah, very happy. We had some bumps in the beginning, but I believe we sorted it out, and we're on the upward curve now.
Adrian, well done and all the best.
Thanks so much.
Cheers.
Okay.
And Adrian can be really happy with his troops today. He did exceptionally well with the boot, and so did Navaldo Fleurs. A hard fought win there for FNB Marties. They had to really work for it. FNB UJ came out guns blazing, scoring the first try, and Johannes de Blanche and his loose trio did brilliantly well on the floor, making sure that they were jackals, and whenever FNB Marties were about to score, they were there. As we see the try scorers, Amlashe, Solan, Swart and Rousseau, two hookers again scoring here for the FNB Marties, and FNB UJs did brilliantly well with Malchas doing the dance around, and the last try coming from Kuitondo. And we'd just like to say thanks very much for joining us here at the FNB Varsity Cup for this FNB Marties versus FNB UJ, where UJ has just lost to the FNB Marties 40 points to 38. Stick around, and we will see you guys next week for another round of Rugby That Rocks.